Welcome back. It's Parsuval. Today, we're going to go to the Nether. I have a blaze spawner that we found and deactivated. And today, I've got some plans to turn this into an XP farm. So, I've already done some work and kind of have a general layout of how I want to do this. Let's go ahead and head on down to the blaze spawner. And I've been spending some time in the Nether, played around in creative mode trying to figure out exactly how I wanted to do this. And it's going to be using pistons to push the spawner, or to push the blazes down from the spawner. Up on top, this block here is our spawner. Underneath here, we've got it deactivated because we've taken up all the block spaces where blaze can spawn. So we have an 8 by 8 and 3 thick area where the blaze can spawn. And the first thing I want to do is I am going to make an on-off switch for the blaze spawner. I'm going to do that with redstone lamps. So blaze, I believe, spawn at light level 11 or lower. So we're going to have redstone lamps that are going to keep it from activating. So the way this is going to work, and I actually did not want to fall down there, but I did. Okay, so with the redstone lamps, we'll have light level will be, so they're light level 15, so 15, 14, 13, 12. So as long as you have a redstone lamp over every block on top, you will be able to keep the blazes from spawning. A lot of people I know use lava. They'll drop lava down, and that works. But I wanted to do it differently with the redstone lamps. Now, granted, this is a very expensive project. We're going to be using a lot of redstone, a lot of sticky pistons, and it's going to take up a lot of resources. So let's go ahead and get started. And it would have been a great idea to have brought my redstone lamps with me up here. Let's go get them here. I think I have enough. Should be 64 because we're doing an 8 by 8 area. And so we can start laying this out. Yeah, so I've been thinking about the blaze and how it is I want to move them. Lots of different ideas out there with pistons. Of course, there's the upside down wedding cake trap that uses pistons and pressure plates, and that works very well. Wanted to do something a little different. I don't want to use pressure plates. I want to be able to move the blaze when I want to move the blazes. So that's going to require a little bit different design because, of course, the pressure plates are activated when the blazes hop on top of them and they get pushed down by the pistons. So what we're going to do here, we're going to use pistons, but we're going to make it into like a trough. So the pistons are going to push the blaze into a trough, and that's what's going to push them down into this trench, and should work, hopefully. And as I said, I've been playing around in creative mode quite a bit. Did I just break a lamp? I did. This is a bad thing about, I mean, this pickaxe is almost too good for nether brick. Like, breaks 3 or 4 at a time, and sometimes I have trouble kind of controlling it. Nether rack here is so easy to break. Alright, get this cleared out. And pick up my lamp. Oh man, let's try this again. Nice thing about redstone lamps, you can get them back. Whereas glowstone, you're done. I've misplaced many a glowstone block in my day. Okay, so in terms of wiring this, we're going to have an on-off switch that's going to go down, eventually down to where we will be standing to harvest the blaze. But for now, the way this is going to work, we're going to need some repeaters, and we're going to need redstone. And there's lots of ways to do this. Now, basically, the easiest way that I found is to place a redstone torch. And I'm going to do that actually over here, off to the side, because I'm probably going to want this, I'm probably going to be, the way the trough is going to run, they're going to be standing down here when I harvest the blaze. So down there is where the harvest area is going to be. So actually I'm going to put redstone torch here, because I'm going to want to run the signal down eventually. So we'll put it there for now. And we'll play around with getting this lit up and try to do it in such a way, that we use as little redstone as possible. Okay. Alright, so that completes one section. We are going to have to eventually extend the signal with a repeater. And it should run out about here. Okay, no, we're still good. As I said, this is a very expensive project. Okay, this is going to work. We don't need don't need any repeaters. Okay, so now we have our redstone lamps up and running, and that should work out really well in terms of getting the blaze down, or the blaze spawner off and on. Okay, so let's kind of talk about how this is going to work. I've kind of got a framework of it right here to show you, and so this is going to be the trough, and the blocks that we're seeing here are as if the pistons are extended. So what's going to happen is pistons will move this block, actually you can probably see it better over here. This block, this block, this block, and this block are all going to have pistons extending, and it's going to then, we're going to have a delay, so this one goes first, then this one, then this one, then this, and that pushes the blaze down here into this trough. A little different over here because we have an 8 by 8. Our spawner is not exactly on center. And actually the center of the spawning space is associated with the lowest values of the X and Z coordinates. So on this side we only have 3 blocks to the spawner. So here we have 1, 2, 3 that are going to push, and then also we'll have one here. But these two will operate in unison, so they'll push at the same time. Hopefully that makes some sense now. But that's kind of the framework, and then we'll be able to stand here. We'll set up a crushing system, and I think it's going to work out okay. Excited to get started on it. So I'm going to do some basic construction here, get the pistons set out, and then I'll give you an update here in a minute. Okay, we're back, and we made some progress here. I can see over here we have our 4 rows of 8 pistons. I'm going to be outlining the trap with brickstone. And over here I've got one more layer I've got to put on. I actually had to run back to the overworld to get a little bit more slime. I had pistons but no slime. So we will add these last 8 pistons here, and that will be it. So then we'll just have the wiring, and the wiring I played around with it quite a bit, and I have it, I think, down to the most efficient way to do it. And with that, when I say that, I'm talking about using the least amount of redstone as possible to, again, try to make this already very expensive project a little less expensive. Okay, so we can actually clear this out here, and we can finish putting our stone in here, because this is going to be our trench. So there'll be, actually the trench will be here, and hopefully this is starting to make some sense now as to how it's going to work. It's a little hard to explain until you start to see it come together. Okay. So then we'll encase the whole thing all the way around on the outside. And then of course our wiring is going to have to go back here behind our pistons. And this will be the trough, which will take all of the blaze. And the way I tried to figure out a way to move the blaze once they're in the trough. And really, when I played around with it, the best way was to leave a gap so that, well, the blaze will track you through glass blocks at least. So if you have a glass block here, they're going to track you. The only problem is, I think the last 2 blocks here, if there's blaze over here, they would not track me. That's at least in creative mode, which I know sometimes mob behavior in creative mode can be a little bit different. So we're going to see how it works here. Hopefully it'll work out. But you can see here, this is the issue you have with the 8 by 8 block. It's not centered. So on the 3 side, we have these 2 bottom pistons will fire together, push this block over. Here we have 4 pistons staggered, and so we'll have to have 4 different delay settings, and these two, this will fire before this one does. Okay, so I've got a lot of wiring to do here, and that's going to take some time. So I think rather than having you watch every piece of redstone and every repeater that I lay, I'm going to take another break, and you can check back in here in just a little bit after I have at least some of the redstone done, and I can kind of show you exactly how I'm going to do it. So I'll be back in a bit. Okay, I'm back with another quick update and going to show you kind of what we're doing along here. Let me finish this up and then we'll go push the lever and I'll show you where we are. We're about halfway done with the first side. Somehow I just killed the light, so let me put that back. And okay, so now we need to put repeaters all along here. And I need to raise that wire up too. But this is going to power our second row of pistons. And so then we have 2 more rows of pistons. And we're going to want the second row from the top set on a 4-tick delay. So we'll set all those to 4. All to 4. And then I need to take this out and make it on the same level with our repeaters. And we'll make it so we can lay the redstone. Oh, torch is going to have to move. Alright, so now we've got our redstone. Great. Okay, so those are powered. Our top blocks are powered. So we got 1 row, 2 rows powered. You can kind of see that here, and hopefully you can kind of see we need to power this row and this row next. And to do that, it's a little tricky because we have to have this row right here fire first, and then this one. We cannot have them fire at the same time because we need them to gradually push the blaze into this trench. But here's our lever for this. We're going up here with the power, taking it up, and we'll work it along. So I'm going to do some things here on our 3rd and 4th row and then get back to you to show you what we've accomplished. Okay, I'm back with another quick update. We now have the 4th row powered, and I'm going to do the 3rd row next. It's just kind of easier to do the bottom first. So let me show you how this works on the bottom. It's a little different because we have to leave room to power the 3rd row. So the 4th row we have power coming off here. 1, 2, 3, 4 at 4, so 16-tick delay. And then we have power going into this block, and then, well, we'll take a look down here because to get the power up, man, zombie, I'd like to kill you, but that would be bad because there's too many of you in here and I don't feel like fighting you right now. Okay, so power into this block inverts the signal here, and then we have power on below these pistons, which then turns them on. Okay, so it'll make a little more sense once I show you how we're going to do the 3rd row, because It's a little bit tricky. We have to extend this out, but that's what that looks like right now. You can see those retract. And there's a delay here, and then of course in between this and this firing, we're going to have this fire. And that's what I'm working on right now, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I'm working on the third row of pistons, and in order to do this, we're going to have to spread out the signal using torches again. Okay, so right now the third row is powered, and what we need to do is invert this signal. So we're going to turn them off, at least for the moment, and that will allow us then to control it with power from here. So now we're going to have to, you know what, and I'm out of cobblestone again. So I think I've got somewhere in my chest up here. It's how these zombie pigmen are driving me nuts in here. Okay, yes. Alright, so we have a little more cobble. Should be enough to finish this up. Okay, so our torches are on the other side of this. So we're going to actually need to drop this down one. And put our repeaters on top of here to turn our torches on and off. Alright, and then we'll put our repeaters on, and we're going to want to set these on an 8-tick delay. And once we have them in, I think we're done on this side. And I'm having a lot of trouble getting these set to 4 ticks. Great. Now we just need to lay our redstone down. And I think I still have some redstone. Again, this is just one of those projects that just eats redstone. Okay. And we are going to want to add one more repeater in here. To make this work. Okay. Let's go check it out. Awesome. That's exactly what we want. Okay. Let's see how it works on us extending. That is not what we want. Okay, we've got some funny stuff going on there. It may be the way we have this set up here. This may be back powering this. Alright, let me check this out and then figure out what's going on, and I'll be back. Okay, so I'm back and I have it fixed. Let's get it retracted here. And okay, that's what we want. So the issue was over here. Okay, so over here we had two wires that were powering each other, which made for those pistons to fire together. So we got that fixed. So now power comes down here, gets delayed 4 ticks before, well, 1, 2, 3, there's 12, and then another 4 over here. And then the other line just comes straight here, gets delayed 4 ticks here, and then 4 ticks at the piston power blocks. So that's how that's working. And that side is done. So now all we have to do is get the other side of our trench powered so that we can push the blaze down. And this side is a little bit easier because we don't have to worry. We can these two rows can, and we do actually want them to fire at the same time. So it makes life a little bit easier. So I'm going to get this finished up, and then we'll check it out. Okay, we're back, and I have the last row of pistons done here. Had to make a little bit of a switch because originally on this side I had these two pistons right next to each other, one on top of the other. That will not work. At least I could not get it to work. The problem being that it was very difficult, and from my standpoint it's impossible to have these two powered without powering this one, the second row. So what I've done is I went ahead and staggered this, and so now I would not have to have sticky pistons here, but that's what I had, and I didn't have any regular pistons, so I just put those in. Okay, and pretty simple wiring here. The actual takeoff is over here on this side, so let me go over here and show you what I've done. Okay, so up here, the power's coming off here, and we got to invert it because underneath here we have the pistons that are on. So we have to invert the signal, which is what this does. Then power's over here. We have our 1, 2, 3, and then 4 repeaters with full delays. And each one of those is powering this block, which then in the inverted position turns these back on and allows us to power this and this. And let's go over here and take a look how it works. Let me go ahead and retract and extend. And that's what we want. And our blaze will fall down here. And then we're going to have over on this end place right about here. We're going to have our crushing chamber, and we'll be able to crush the blaze and collect the XP and the blaze rods. So this is all done here. I'm not quite ready to get the blaze spawner unleashed here because I got to enclose all of this, obviously, and also we've got to make our killing chamber. So got a little bit more work to do, and we'll do a couple more things here, and then I'll be back and kind of show you what my thoughts are on this, the crushing chamber. Okay, so I'm back, and I think we have everything enclosed here now. So it is time to go ahead and go back inside and make sure, first of all I want to make sure that everything's still working in terms of the on-off switches. Alright, so eventually I meant to get glass for this so I could kind of see inside, but Creeper got it. I haven't got it yet. So, but let's. So eventually we're going to take all of this out so we can get to the spawner. Before I do that, let's just make sure that everything is working here, and looks that way. Looks like everything fired. It's a little hard to see up there, but it sounded like it's working. I didn't accidentally cut any wires. Okay, so then here is our crusher. And eventually I'm going to hook this up to a timer to make sure we'll get the timing worked out. And then we have our on-off switch for the lights, which is a little hard to see. But you can tell up here lights are off. And when I flick that back on, lights should come on. So we'll check that out. Yep, lights are on. And this is all enclosed. It's exactly the way we want it. And after we kind of get this working, we're going to come back and kind of clean this area up and make it look pretty. Okay, well actually I have not finished closing this off. So let me wall this off here. Okay, then I am going to pillar up, and we are going to start taking away our where we have this blocked off here, and we got to be very careful. There's our spawner. We do not want to destroy the spawner after all this work. So, and I have actually a diamond pickaxe, which okay, so let's be very careful around here. So that we don't destroy the spawner. Let's get this one right here. Okay. And the rest, we still have one more there. And I want to kind of be careful, because I'm not sure, I really don't want the blaze spawning on me while I'm cleaning this out, which is why I have the lights on up here. But I want to kind of go around and work from the center out, making sure that I'm uncovering the lights as we go. So that should keep the light level above 11 in all of these spots and keep our blaze from spawning. At least that's how it should work in theory. Because frankly, I hate blaze, and they're just one of those mobs that are really hard to kill. And usually I'm forced to shoot at him with arrows to try to kill him. One of those really difficult, annoying mobs. And as you can see, to get this thing deactivated, I came in here and just, actually with my son Aaron, we just started placing pumpkins and trying to fill in the area. Which worked okay. Nobody died. And here we are today, finishing this up. Looks like I have a piece of cobblestone over there too. Okay. That's not what we want. Alright, how did he spawn? How did he spawn? Interesting. Well, you know what? It may have been right there that he randomly spawned on that one spot where we don't have, you know, So again, I need to be going from the down up. Otherwise we can't get things to spawn. That was just proof. And here's proof that our redstone lamps are working. So we have what we need here in terms of the light level to keep it from spawning, which is good. Let me go get rid of some of this stuff, and then we're going to turn this on. Actually, I'll keep one of these, and then we'll see this thing in action, hopefully. Hopefully. Alright, I saw, it's crazy. I never thought I would run out of cobblestone. I did a whole bunch of strip mining, but I've had some really, I'm working on the tower and finishing up the bridge and the wall just took a lot of cobblestone, so I can't say that I have a whole lot of it right at the moment. Okay, so now we are ready to close that off. The blaze will actually, we've got it in the wrong spot. It needs to be here. So blaze will come down here, fall down, not be able to get through this hole, and we will hopefully kill them. Alright, let's turn off the lamp. I don't want a whole bunch spawning at once. Okay, now are they going to be able to see us through here is the big question. We want them to track us, but not shoot fire, yeah, like that. Alright, let's crush this guy. Doesn't sound like he's taking damage. Interesting. Okay, he must have taken damage, but I didn't hear it. Okay, so we didn't do this, which is the whole purpose of all this work. Okay, great. So they're falling down there. Let's crush this guy. There we go. Yeah, great. Okay, that's what we want. We want them falling down in that trench. Again, I'm not sure what this guy is doing. Okay, we got some work to do on this because we can't have them shooting us, obviously. Maybe we do this and a half slab. They can't shoot us. But can we still kill them is the question. I don't know. Let's just give that a try and see what happens here. Alright, we got a few that spawned. Okay. We'll let them settle down a little bit, then we'll get the old heave-ho down here. Okay, they can definitely see us. And they're shooting. We want them tracking us. Okay. And then let's... And I wonder why that is not... Okay, that was a 1. Okay. Alright. I like that. That's working well. Only other thing is we need to figure out a way to how to push the stuff out, our blaze rods and our XP. So, okay. Well, there's a little bit more work to do on this in terms of finishing up, but I think this is it, and I'm pretty pleased with it. It's very resource intensive, but it's a nice way to push the blaze down here where we want them, and to kill them, and to collect the XP, and we don't get killed doing it. So, okay, this is Parsuval again. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.